And we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hey!
Hello.
Or as we say around here, ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. Yeah.
Half dabbed again.
Half dabbed.
Oh,
For your pleasure.
Half dabbed for you. God damn it.
hmm
Last we left off, I feel like we have to do a previously on Dragon Ball Z kind of recap of slime at this point.
previously.
Yeah.
Previously on Slime Ball Z.
The slime
Well,
balls.
Goku, defeat the Mickey to... Oh, wait.
The Mickey?
To save
Yeah. King Mickey.
to save Disney from the evil clutches.
Yes.
An unexpected ally appears.
Of-
Frieza?
That's right, monkeys.
Oh,
I'm back once again because
To
I
help
need
you
to give
defeat
Akira
King
Toriyama
Mickey.
money.
I can see chemistry!
Because
Yes.
I'm a fan favorite.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's true.
Who needs Cell?
I can see chemistry! Oh.
okay. Yep. It's doing the thing. It's repeating. I don't know why it's repeating, but it's
Uh-oh.
repeating. So I turned it off. So
I just realized
I could see
current has a
chemistry
really
thing just
interesting
started
effect.
repeating. I don't know why, but I've turned off sound alerts. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's doing that. So I have turned off sound alerts. So there we go. So while that's going on,
Understood.
just to kind of do what we do. I don't know why it does this. Like, I don't have Twitch on and running. I don't have the stream up. I don't have it running. So that should have fixed it. I don't know why it's doing that. PDS Twitch group. Let's see. If I go in, is there a way to refresh this? Okay. No, that's sound alerts. If I go into the properties. Okay. And I defaults. And I defaults it. Okay. And it just goes to OBS source. And I go paste. And I hit OK. Control audio via OBS. Okay, there we go. There's the thing. I heard it. You guys should now be able to hear it again. It stopped. If one can see chemistry, is it possible to smell the cosmos?
Of course.
What
do you think that you smell whenever you walk into a con? That's what it smells like.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
We literally just had a story about that yesterday, about how there's
Con smell.
No, well, yes and no. We literally had a story yesterday about there's a trading card store in Akihabara that is literally saying that if you're too smelly, you will be asked to purchase
A bar of soap or something?
no, literally,
Deodorant?
you will be purchased to spray. You will have to pay to spray yourself with Febreze, or put cologne on, or something like that. Like really cheap, but like you have to either spritz yourself with like stuff to cover up your stinkiness, or
I mean,
you will
good.
not be allowed
Yeah.
to, or you will not be allowed. You will be told to get out.
I mean,
Go.
good.
Yeah.
Because it hurts the experience for everyone if you smell like shit.
It's apparently
And you're gonna...
perfume, cologne were charged for. Perfume and cologne and Febreze and all that stuff were charged for, or you weren't allowed to go in.
Like
we had
a stick of deodorant is like what, $8?
Yeah, and would it kill them
I don't
to
know.
just try to make themselves smell a
It's a
little bit better? You know?
2319.
It is a 2319.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So anyway,
I don't know.
previously on Slime Kunzi, the group went to Lubelious, and they traveled to the Holy Empire of Lubelious with the kids. Also, I think let's see. If I'm remembering this right, the demons showed up, right? No. Previously, the demons had already showed up, but now
Yeah,
we
but
were
then
getting.
they showed up again.
But now the demons were given jobs, and then they apparently fit their jobs, and then Rimuru
Almost
showed
too
up
well.
at the school and surprised a bunch of people, and then we found out the kids are insanely powerful now, and Chloe especially, yeah, and like she can hold her own against Hinata, and they're like, oh my god, that's insane, and
I mean, it is insane though.
It's to the point where if the kids all gang up on Hakuro, he has to like seriously keep his focus on them. So the kids are actually pretty effing strong at this point. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. So they all went to Lubelious along with the orchestra. And then Luminous gave Rimuru a bit of warning about Granville and a little bit about Yuki. So, and told Rimuru about how Granville was a former hero and that she seriously doubted that he is dead and that he's probably plotting some stuff still and that he most likely has a back door into Lubelious.
Or
he's just really, really sad.
Who only knows what kind of nefarious things he's plotting at this very moment. Meanwhile, how do all these squares make a circle? I just don't...
He's just watching Arcane or something.
And that one's still green. All right, so anyway. And that's where we left off. So Moon did message me saying he's going to be a bit late tonight because he went to see the D&D movie and it's longer than he expected. Already I've heard like a lot of really, really good things about the D&D movie. We're going to go and try and check it out tomorrow night.
Okay.
I've had terrible RNG tonight.
Terrible RNG?
Yeah, I've been
like
playing
Destiny?
Destiny. Yeah, I've been playing Destiny.
Okay.
I actually got to run a raid with Fangs, who is one of the Destiny VTubers that I watch on Twitch.
Nice.
Yeah, randomly we were like 2 people short for a Ron raid. Root of Nightmares. We shortchange it to Ron. Everybody in the community just calls it Ron. But it's the new raid. We shortened it to that. Anyway, so
it works.
You get 4 pinnacles from it. And I need my boots for my final pinnacle. And then I hit my pinnacle cap. It's one of the things I need for the last 2 things shoes. I need for ranking up. And no dice. I've gotten everything.
And you had 4 rolls for that, so that's unlucky.
Literally, dude. Today alone, I have gotten over 10 pinnacles to drop for me today.
And none of them were the shoes that you needed?
None of them were boots.
Were they at least good, or were they just kind of eh?
I mean,
oddly enough, they were all left side boots.
No, none of them were boots. I've gotten helmets, I've gotten warlock bonds, I've gotten weapons, I've gotten gauntlets, gotten everything practically except for boots.
But the shoes.
No shoes. No shoes.
It's like Monhood. It's like, okay, we got like 10,000 scales, like 5 wings, like 8,000 torsos, or like everything else except for that one thing you need.
Good thing the thing you really need is good thing the weekly reset is tomorrow.
Do they have pity rates in Destiny?
Do they have pity rates? No.
Is that a thing? Like you do enough of these, you get a guaranteed something.
What do you think this is, Genshin?
You don't get pity.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Destiny Impact or something like that?
Genshin Impact, yes.
No, you are at the mercy of RNGesus.
Destiny Grand Order or whatever.
Genshin Destiny, yeah.
Nope. All right, he needs his shoes to complete that drip. My drip is on point. I just need 1810 boots so I can infuse them and be at pinnacle, be at the pinnacle cap And
All you need are those nice shoes.
I have the setup that I need, dude. I really do. Like,
It's always that one
have
thing.
the setup. I have the setup. I just infuse them to the power level that I need them to be at. So
It's always that one fucking thing.
I have the drip. Trust me, I am dripped out. I'm good. But like everything else. Funny enough, over on my hunter, I only need 2 articles. Like I need for my character, and I don't think shoes are a part of it. So funny enough. Yeah.
You need gloves.
I think it's actually my cloak and gloves. Yeah. So yeah.
You need a cool cape and gloves.
Cape, yeah. Cape and gloves. Yeah. All right. Shem, I think you're gonna get us started. So we're on page ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, already did that. Open your holy books of Rimuruism. I'm not gonna keep doing the voice.
We already did it once.
He has to save his voice.
Yeah. To page 169. Nice. Of the physical medium.
Oh wait, we don't have a bookwalker guy.
We don't.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So as far as what is it on Kindle?
47% of the way in. Yeah, I don't know why they don't do normal things like, page numbers anymore. It's location 2,413 out of 5,165 because that's fucking legible.
We're 47% of the way through.
I don't know. I think that's dumb. Just do pages. People think in pages when they think of books. If not, they have the search bar function. You were here last
week if you're using Bookwalker.
Yeah, that's fine. You can just use the search function if you're on Kindle to go to, so was Granville really going to do something? I think that's where we left off.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So, was Granville really going to do something? And was Yuki going to take advantage? Those worries in mind, I greeted the second day of our stay in Lubelious. Today we'd be bringing in and setting up all our equipment in this concert hall. We were guided to a grand cathedral, one of the nation's main buildings. It was large enough to hold crowds of parishioners while also serving as a defensive post for the road that lay beyond. I had nothing in particular to do. Best to let the professionals handle their own instruments. Instead, as I planned, I'd be taking the kids out for some on-site social studies instruction. Of course, after listening to Luminous, I exercised the cards I had in hand. First, I called for Venom, who answered directly to Diablo, and ordered him to go on security duty. I'm sure this sudden invitation confused him. Diablo, I want you to watch your baton and the rest as they prepare... Sir Rimuru, he interrupted. One moment, if you please. I thought we maybe run into some trouble here, so I made some arrangements overnight. The orchestra will be safe. Great. Diablo must have foreseen and addressed anything that'd make him leave my side. This is exactly why he assembled so many troops, I'm sure, so I didn't mind at all. But apparently he told Venom to come here in 10 minutes or less. Venom actually did it, which was funny enough. But if that's the kind of order Diablo gave without a second thought, he really was heartless, which he was, of course. He's a demon. I marveled at all his talents all the time, but at that moment I couldn't imagine how hard it was to work under him. So the next thing I knew, Venom already had 100 demons helping the orchestra. These were all above A in rank, and I couldn't imagine any security issues from Luminous's side either. The band was nothing if not very well guarded. Thus, guided by Hinata, the children and I observed the goings-on around Lubelious. My personal take? It's the exact opposite of Tempest, but not always in a bad way. Here, you were guaranteed a happy society at the expense of personal freedom. There was no competition, really. You just followed your assigned instructions and carried out your work. And then you did it a million more times. That could break you down mentally, maybe, but you'd never be beleaguered by starvation or pain. Beleaguered? Okay. Beleaguered, that's an interesting word. Never be beleaguered by starvation or pain. Anyone who couldn't live in this environment left long ago, I'm sure. And besides, if this is all you knew from the day you were born, it wouldn't occur to you to complain about it. You can't envy what you don't know about. If you never felt inferior to anyone else, you'd never be inspired by those feelings to try and improve yourself. That's all it took to craft a society free from conflict. Kind of sounds boring, or sounds kind of boring, whispered Alice. Yeah, Kenya nodded. I mean, people our age are working and stuff. Is there no school or anything? The other children didn't comment, looking confused at the unfamiliar landscape. No, there's no school here. It's a nation managed from the top down, with everyone living peacefully as equals under the name of our god. Hinata sounded proud of it, but did she really think it was right? She and her forces got to enjoy a luxurious life, but didn't she feel bad about having a monopoly on that? Of course, it didn't feel right to tell someone or tell some hapless commoner about what they were missing out on, but after all, some things you just can't have, no matter how hard you try. You can't yearn for something if you don't even know it exists in the first place. I guess not, but Kenya was no fool either. He understood why I was getting it. Oh, that was him. In this managed society, Hinata continued, the population enjoys high level of happiness across the board. That's all the reason why we need to go through the Western Holy Church to build relations with other countries. Yeah, I'll bet. You couldn't expose this obvious populace to stimuli from other nations without warning. Makes them kind of sheltered. But if they're happy, I don't think it's really our place to comment. Yeah, happiness doesn't come from material possessions after all. If it's emotional happiness you're after, then a society like this works. Not that I could ever stomach it. Now that I know or knew better, I'd always be pursuing more abundance as my mission. Way back in the past, when I spent my afternoons playing tag with my school friends, maybe I could have accepted something like this. Everyone has their own ideas of what happiness is, after all. It's not the sort of idea that you could point at someone and say they're wrong about it. You had to think for yourself and act accordingly. That's the best way, I figured. It was food for thought, but none of these people can survive on their own, right? They can't keep this up unless they've got someone protecting them. Chloe was speaking my thoughts out loud. Never underestimate a child's knack for observation. Hinata blinked a little at this. I guess she must have picked up on that as well. Just how warped the society really was. If everyone was oblivious, they'd be unable to do anything without someone managing them. Having no freedom meant that someone else had life or death power over you. It wasn't much different from being livestock. Yes, and that's why we're working to avoid that. Well, okay. But I think it'd be better if this was a group effort, Miss Hinata. That way, everyone could pitch in instead of you having to do everything. That was one ideal, yes. But someone always had to suffer eventually because it never really worked out that way. We're all born with different levels of talent, and everyone produces work at their own pace. Words like equal sound nice, but there's always going to be a cruel, unequal reality attached. Ideals and reality, a contradiction that could never be fully buried. Prop something up here, and something else has to sag over there. There's no correct answer. You just have to keep rushing down the path you believe in. That's what makes life interesting. I think today gave the kids a lot to ponder. It's also reminded me that material possessions aren't enough to make you happy. I knew that, but I just couldn't stop. That was the conclusion I made, but I still didn't think today was a waste for me. My approach was, in a way, just one of many correct answers. The diversity I enjoyed was the very potential that drove people's lives, I thought. But I wanted to reconsider life one more time, carefully. No need to decide what's correct or not. I was stabbed in my previous life, and then I got reborn as a slime. Nobody could tell you what's coming next for me, and if that's how it was, I'd be missing out if I didn't enjoy the present. That's what today made me think, and even now, the gears of fate were turning.
Jean.
Jean? Okay. Jean has disappeared? Yes, it is hard to believe.
We're
But I
back in
detected...
Leon's place.
Oh, okay, I was like, who the fuck is talking?
Yeah, we're back
Yes.
in Leon's. Alright, I'm gonna go get food.
Yes, it is hard to believe, but I detected a massive amount of magic force, and then the demon sleeping here there seemed to vanish. Unfathomable. Leon thought he misheard Arlo's report at first. Leon's domain was an area shared with the demon realms, the spiritual world the demons called home. It was a land covered in thick miasma magicules, one where a demon with untold powers could occasionally manifest itself. Your typical demon, bereft of a physical body, could be handled by Leon's Night Corps, even if they were an archdemon. However, they had discovered an older demon in this land, one that's such an absolute threat that not even Leon could ignore it. This was Jean, the original Yellow. She had yet to obtain a physical body, which limited where she had access to. However, her presence was still enough to keep Leon from moving an inch from where he stood. Anyone else would have been helpless against the carnage she wrought. She's an insane demon, the sort who'd throw nuclear-level magic spells around for fun. She would be impossible to live alongside, and she has no interest in negotiating. Without your backup, Sir Leon, she would even threaten my life. And now you say she's gone? Yes, Claude. I couldn't believe in myself. So I went to see, and the region that normally overlaps with the demon realm has been dimensionally repaired. I can only assume that someone has blocked the gates of hell. Impossible. Claude, the Black Knight widely considered the strongest fighter in all of El Dorado, was snapping at Arlos, the Silver Knight and his comrade in arms. Everyone who lived here, not just Leon, was tormented by the demons. If Jean, the original source of all their woes, had disappeared, it was such good news that nobody would dare believe it. In fact, the missing gates of hell seemed to portend even more ominous events for the future. The gates were a kind of door that overlapped between the physical and spiritual worlds. Its presence allowed bodiless demons to appear and interact with normal space for a limited time. Many knights had been deployed to close this door, but the demons stopped them. Ever since Leon built his nation here, there had been continual skirmishes on regular occasions. What made this so difficult for the knights was that spiritual life forms could resurrect themselves as long as you didn't kill them at the root. Even worse, a demon just killing some time could easily cause massive damage to Leon's forces. To Leon, who ruled over an otherwise bountiful realm, only the demons kept him up at night. If he truly wanted to, perhaps he could sweep them all up by himself, but one false move and it could lead to Jeanne awakening. And even then, Leon could probably beat her, although it required the fight of both of their respective lives. That's why he had avoided that so far. What could have happened? Jeanne is just... She's not like Misery and Rain, the way Guy describes them. She just doesn't listen to reason. After carefully weighing his interests, Leon decided to maintain the status quo, even if it meant taking some losses. And now, out of nowhere, that threat was gone. He and all his forces agreed about one thing. No way had it just happened to turn out like this. Now more news was reaching Leon's nervous ears. Report, my lord. There are currently 5 children being kept under wraps in Tempest. We've confirmed our intelligence with their former academy in Glacia, and we're almost done assessing it. It would appear the Demon Lord Rimuru is forging a secret pact to sell the children to the Demon Lord Luminous. What? Lubelious and Tempest have signed a peace treaty. Both Demon Lords are on good terms with each other. Our guess is that Rimuru has deceived Yuki Kagarazaka and is using the magical rich children for his own business dealings. They had just received a magic call from a member of the Azure Knights currently investigating Tempest. The news gave Leon pause. The Rimuru he met at the Walpurgis meeting didn't strike him as the sort to pull a move like that. Have them observe this agent of ours closely. He may have a good contact, or he may be under someone's control. You don't think? The Demon Lord Rimuru, perhaps. No. I just don't see any reason why Rimuru would get rid of the children. So why then? Someone's trying to make us fight. Someone who stands to profit from it. There's a chance the Demon Lord Luminous is being dragged into this as well. For all we know, Luminous may be behind it all. Huh. What in? Leon thought for a moment, gauging the situation in the Western nations, figuring out who'd be the prime suspect. The conclusion was as obvious as it was unnerving. The Cerberus Society? Only that shady pack of merchants knew Leon was collecting otherworlder children. Well, not just them, the people he tapped for their knowledge for summoning spells knew too. Perhaps the Rozos have discovered our summoning program. Yes, maybe those merchants joined forces with them in a real palpable way. If he started to doubt them, there'd be no end to it for his troubled mind. Besides, that report was suspicious on its face. Leon wouldn't have any motive to take action over just 5 children, or so he thought. Normally, Demon Lords avoided interfering with one another as much as they could. Butting into a conflict between Demon Lords that he had no personal stake in would be the height of folly. It could give him 2 enemies where there used to be none. It was best to ignore these events. Luminous might be scheming at something, but it'd all be pointed at Rimuru, not Leon. There was, by Leon's reasoning, no point in making a move. This time, however, he can feel his judgment wavering. Perhaps detecting this, Leon's advisors began debating the matter. I see. So there are people out there trying to take advantage of Sir Leon. Should we squash them? Leon stopped them. No. Cerberus has major clout in the Eastern Empire. It'd be unwise to make enemies of them without any evidence. They're no doubt fanning the flames here, but the Rozo family might not be so faithful themselves. And besides that, he was taking the situation coolly, providing suitable instructions for his forces, but there was still a pang of anxiety in Leon's mind. That name, Scully Colbert. Could that be? No. There was no reason to make a move. In fact, any moves would mean falling for the bait. Leon understood that, but he still had trouble resisting the impulse. If Jean was alive and well somewhere, he couldn't do something ill-advised that could affect the very land he stood on. The scales in his mind remained stationary, pointing out the correct choice. And yet... strange. I just feel like I have to act right now. He had fallen silent, his advisor looking up at him. But, my lord, we are all your faithful knights. We will gladly follow any orders you give us. Yes, no matter how selfish you may be, we will never chide you for it. Grant us your orders, and I promise we will make them come true. You. Arlos, Claude, and all the other knights were unquestionably loyal to him. Either Jean's disappearance is an extraordinary stroke of luck, or there's a picture of him. Leon closed his eyes. When he opened them again, there was a fearless smile on his lips. I accept your loyalty. I must go myself. Guard this land in my stead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here in the golden land of El Dorado, great forces were now in motion. Leon Cromwell, the Platinum Saber, was about to reach for his sword and end his long silence.
So have you figured it out?
Figured out what's behind all this?
No. Jean.
Jean?
You saw too much.
Yeah, they called her like the Great Yellow or something.
The primordial yellow.
Yeah, so she's one of the primals, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Because if he's scared of her, then she's got to be something bigger than he is.
Well, here's
the only thing bigger than him is
primordial yellow just disappeared.
Yeah, so she's on her way somewhere or something's going on.
You know where she is?
I feel like we already know. Well, we've already been introduced to her, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
currently, Tempest.
Yeah,
she's I was gonna bet.
She's the fucking. I don't know which one it is.
She's one of the 3 named in Tempest.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, good though.
Oh.
I don't know if it's Ultima or
it's not actually John anymore.
No, it's not John anymore. It's not John anymore. Nope. So the funny thing is, all right, so Noir, Jean, all these things, these are just nicknames. They're not their actual names, right? These are just nicknames, right? They have actual names now.
I know, right? So it's like, well,
I'm curious what the difference is, though.
Oh, very.
Obviously, outside of power.
Well, I mean, hold on. But here's the thing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Leon doesn't know this, so he's like, all right, something's up, because crazy one.
Because she suddenly went quiet.
Because everything just went quiet. The craziest, scariest thing around here that only I'm able to keep at bay just disappeared.
And I don't know where it is.
Yep.
Fucking vanished.
Yep. That's like, we just left the hydrogen bomb here. Where did it go?
Right?
Oh, sir.
It has thoughts now.
I turned around and it was gone.
You're not wrong, because this crazy one throws nuclear magic around for fun.
So it's worse than just one.
Yes. Okay. So imagine picture, if you will,
like an AI or something.
If Jinx were a hydrogen bomb.
Oh,
Pokemon Jinx,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like from League of Legends?
Yeah, Jinx from League of Legends. Jinx from League of Legends were a hydrogen bomb that could go off as many times as she wanted.
And point wherever and make like mini ones.
Yes.
I could just skip a rock and it'll explode.
And every time it skipped.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many skips do you think I could do? I'm going for 4.
Come on, baby.
22. Let me see 22. You know.
Dang.
Yes, yeah.
Well, there goes
again.
like half the capitals in the U.S.
But I didn't get 4.
But instead of the pond, it's the world. You know.
It's just land.
All right. So,
that'd be terrifying.
Oh my God, they left a Florida man unsupervised, and it's somewhere in the world.
That's true.
Kind of not wrong. What happened to the walking nuke? You're not. Previously on the walking nuke.
It just reminds me of Civil War with Ross. Is like, if I just left two nuclear bombs unattended, they'd probably have my ass for that.
Yeah. All right, continue.
Where's Thor and Hulk?
Yeah, exactly.
The Demon Lord Leon's on the move, huh? Just as I thought. It's not just any child he's looking for.
Oh.
So maybe Chloe really is the one, huh?
Okay, so this is most definitely Yuki.
Yeah, I read ahead a little bit.
Yeah, all right.
It meant that Leon's true desire wasn't the children, but a certain person who came from another world. By the laws of cause and effect, this made it seem quite likely that Chloe was what Leon wanted. But, Sir Yuki, Leon's not necessarily going to do what we want, will he? He's probably headed for Lubelious, and I doubt he's accepted the info we've given him at face value. In fact, I'm sure he doubts it. I'm sure he does, but it still let us narrow down his motivations. That's good enough. Yuki was satisfied, but Kagami had the others didn't see things his way. They seemed concerned, unsure about his thoughts. I agree that Chloe merits attention, but don't we lack the concrete proof that she's the central figure? Relying on uncertain odds like that strikes me as out of character for you, Sir Yuki. Yeah, right? And here we are, leaking sensitive information to him. It's all but asking him to doubt us, you know? So what was the purpose of all that? I'd like to know too, boss. I don't think you've made a mistake, but now Leon's gonna have it in for Cerberus, won't he? It's basically ended our relationship. I don't see how we've gained anything at all. Laplace and Tyr weren't hiding their concerns now. Footman didn't join them, and the ever-wise Kagami felt it proper to keep her mouth shut. I can understand if the clouds here are confused, Misha said with a bewitching smile. It's true. We didn't stand to gain anything from this. We did it for just one reason, and that's because the boss has decided we can't deal with the Demon Lord Leon any longer. That set up a light bulb in Kagali's mind. I see. So that's how it was? Not that we won't deal with him, but we can't? Huh? What do you mean, Lady Kagali? Ho ho ho! Not like we'd understand her, she told us. All we'd have to do is follow the orders and... Quiet 1 second, Footman. Whether I can understand it or not, I want to hear it. Footman scowled a bit at Tyr's interruption. They usually got along well, so it stung a bit. The way he saw it, they didn't need to get mired in complex reasoning. Just do what Yuki and Kagami and the others said, and everything would work out fine. He truly believed that, but now it seemed he was the only one. The others trusted Yuki and Kagami, but they wanted to know what they were looking for. Yuki looked at them and smiled. In terms of being easy to use, Footman sure is a helpful guy. But if you want a better chance of success, people like Laplace are leagues better. Of course, it's not like we had some grand reasoning behind this. As he thought over this, he began to venture an explanation. Well, the fact that Leon's taking action now is all the reason we needed. You know how we had the guys deliver one final shipment of classified goods to him? I only did that because we were planning to shut off business with Leon. And I wanted you to have a chance to see your hated nemesis in person once. Huh? So you really wouldn't have cared if we started kicking ass in there? You're exactly right. Assuming you escaped alive once you were done, that is. Yuki grinned, a smile brimming with confidence as he attempted to calm his minions down. Children or not, collecting Otherworlders takes a lot of hard work. We know Leon did it to boost his fighting powers, but we kept helping him anyway. You know why, right? Yeah, because we wanted to keep that connection with him? Right. So what do we need to keep that relationship going? The classified goods, right? The Otherworlder children? Mm-hmm. And now we can't get any more of them. Why? Well, because the Rosas we had been counting on to summon them for us are... Oh. What? What is it? You see, Tyr? This way, we can pin the blame for cutting things off on the Rosas. We can't get any new supply in. We certainly can't keep our business going. We can't go around looking for kids that just happen to wander into this world, but we can pretend we are and sell them that way. So this way, we're seizing the initiative. Even if we cut Leon off for now, we can still make contact with him later if we need him. But that's still no reason to deliberately make him suspect us, a confused Tyr said. Nah, groaned Laplace, the truth dawning on him. You see, they're trying to make the Rosa family out to be the real bad guys. I tell you, boss, you're a mean one, that's for sure. Thanks for the compliment. Yes, like you said, Laplace, I'm intending to shunt all the blame on old man Granville. It annoys me to say this, Kagami added. Oh, this is her. But Leon's a careful individual. We're the only ones suspecting right now. But at the same time, I'm sure he thought, there's no way Cerberus would do something so immature. He'd eliminate Rimuru or Luminous as suspects. And in his eyes, there's nobody else who could be scheming against him. Hello. Welcome back. The Rosos are probably the least of his worries. Leon's careful, yeah, but he's also got a lot of self-confidence. He's not going to let himself get hurt by some human he wanted to take advantage of. He didn't even try to learn about the Rosos. I don't even think he could even guess what the real threat was lurking among their ranks. I can imagine. The 5 elders were nobody too big after all. Except for those two. But if Maribel's gone, then that just leaves Granville, don't it? Or, well, you didn't know, but There were actually 3 people in the Rosa family we needed to be careful with. Maribel was dead, but 2 still remained. Such was the information Cerberus gave them. Of course, to be exact, it's not one of the elders. It's this one guy who worked for Cider. Or Cedar? How do you say that name?
Could be Sidre.
Sidre? Okay. Who worked for Sidre, that frontier Margrave. And he's apparently real bad news. With a grin, Yuki told the room what he knew. Sidre was the aristocrat responsible for protecting the peace in northern Glacia. In this region was a family of protectors who guarded the land from generation to generation. The current one, a man decked out in full mask and armor with no skin visible, had been serving Granville all this time despite nobody knowing where he came from. He wasn't part of the 5 great elders, but anyone aware of him knew better than to ignore him. Yuki heard about him from Damrata. And Damrata himself told me, I have no idea who'd win between us unless I actually fight him. So, no way he's weak. The only other person he's described in terms like that is Hinata. As far as Yuki knew, Damrata kept a close eye only for 3 people in the Western nations. Hinata, Maribel, and this man. To him, the man was even more of a menace than the head elder, Granville himself. And if Damrata, the money, one of Cerberus's leaders and a man who enjoyed Yuki's full trust, rated him like that, there was no way Yuki could afford to ignore him. So, what's he like? That I don't know. I've never met him. But he pretty much single-handedly keeps the peace up in the north, Damrata said he happened to see him in combat once, and he himself was fighting against a bunch of demons from the north. The statement was like dropping a bomb in the room. Kagali and Misha were already aware of it, and even they seemed to have trouble accepting it. That's how much of a revelation it was. That man's name is Razul, apparently. Granville personally named him. Granville? He named him?
But
Wait,
that's my thing.
So you mean you weren't aware of that, Lady Kagali? Asked Misha. Well, it's true. Damrata told me that Razul isn't human. Yeah, Yuki added. He doesn't wear all that armor just to protect himself. It's also so nobody finds out what he is, according to Damrata. To Laplace and the others, however, that was just a small detail. That doesn't matter. Let me get this straight. By demons from the north, do you mean from the lands of that demon lord? Right? Right. The Lord of Darkness, or the Lord of Darkness, has taken action. The West would have been a heap of ash long ago. Nobody, not even Yuki, could smile at the normally composed Laplace and Kagali acting so out of sorts. Please, calm down. You guys are pretty scared of the Demon Lord Guy Crimson, huh? Well, we're fine for now. Regarding your question, yes, the Northern Demons were people working under Guy. It looks like Guy is tolerating it when his forces decide to attack human settlements for fun. It's just a game for the demons, but the victims sure don't see it that way, of course. So it was Razul stopping them before they could cross into his territory. Just one man protecting human society from all those demons? The thought stunned everyone except Yuki into silence. I hardly believe it, but I'm convinced. If Guy isn't serious about this, that explains why the Western nations are still safe. This Razul person sounds like quite a threat, but this is just crazy. Not even I could pull a stunt like that. But I know he's strong and all, but what's he have to do with Leon? Are we trying to have Leon travel north and fight against him? As everyone regained their composure, Yuki found himself smiling at Tyr's question. Right, let's go back to the main topic. Like I said, the Rozos have this Razul as kind of a last resort. He's there to fend off the demons who might attack at any time, so they couldn't afford to move him away from the north. That was why not even Maribel factored Razul into his calculations. Why not? Why not? Because as a champion working directly under Granville Rosso, not even Maribel had the clout to order him around. Yuki had been aware of Razul for some time now. He hadn't used him in his strategizing so far because he simply didn't have the chance. Any false move with him and Guy's forces were capable of laying waste to the west. He didn't want that, and thus the northern regions were hands off to him. And now, however, things had changed. I'm going to level with all of you. A while back, I had a conference with Granville where we worked out an agreement. An agreement I've already briefed you about. The smile disappeared from Yuki's face. Everyone else nodded. Right, said Kagali. The god worshipped by the Western Holy Church was exactly who we expected it to be. And out of sadness for losing Maribel, Granville decided to join forces with you, Sir Yuki. Stupid old man. Silence, Laplace. So along those lines, Granville asked for your help with something. Are the preparations for that going along well, Sir Yuki? Yuki and Granville's secret meeting in the midst of it. Some ellipses.
Oh, the dunce.
Yuki was the one who informed Granville of Maribel's death. She had challenged the Demon Lord Rimuru to battle and lost, though with no other option. She set off a magical control reactor, got caught in the resulting explosion, and died. It was the same story Yuki told Rimuru earlier. Yuki had considered giving Granville another lie, but opted against it. Now that Rimuru's suspicions of him were gone, he didn't want to be needlessly inconsistent. Well, okay. About that.
Yeah.
Although he couldn't say... What? Was it what?
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Although he couldn't say how Granville would react, Yuki wasn't at all afraid of him alone. Even if he was part of the 7 Days clergy, those protectors of humankind, Yuki saw him as just a poor, elderly man possessed by a mad, greedy desire for power. He wasn't about to let his guard down, but he viewed Granville as a beatable opponent. The old man had several of his guards with him at the conference, including a couple of other worlders. It'd be a bad idea to make enemies out of all of them, but Yuki still felt at ease. With Maribel gone, all he really needed to watch out for was this Razul guy. Thus, he faced up against Granville, not bothering to hide his true nature. I see. So Maribel is dead. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, it was hard for me as well. Her controlling me, making me fight against Rimuru. I know the Free Guild's built under the Council and gets their operating budget for them, or from them. But this is really a breach of contract, isn't it? I had my free will taken from me, and I really think I deserve some compensation. So what happened with the Demon Lord Rimuru? Granville asked, pushing Yuki's demand aside. Yuki expected that to some extent, shrugging without showing any real disappointment. What happened? Nothing, really. He may have doubted you before, perhaps, but now I think he believes all of this was Maribel's scheme. That's the way I framed it with him. Besides, and I hope you won't think ill of me for it. Granville's expression hinted at severe exhaustion, something Yuki didn't anticipate. He shut his eyes tightly, remaining silent for a moment. I see. So Maribel is gone. Now all hope is lost for the Rozo family. And if it is, we must use the secret treasure she hid away for our revenge. She? And a secret treasure, you say? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'd like to stay out of it if you don't mind. Don't say that, Yuki. You already know, don't you? You're no fool. Know what? That the god of Luminism is none other than the Demon Lord Luminous herself. Oh. Yuki had assumed as much, but it surprised him to hear it from Granville's own lips. At the same time, he wondered why he'd reveal such a vital secret to him. Well, if you're telling me that, then what are you scheming? Scheming? Oh, don't call it that. I've accepted you, you know. With Maribel gone, you're the only person I could entrust the future of the Western nations to, or really, the human race itself. Granville rose from his sofa, speaking to Yuki in exaggerated tones. Yuki wasn't obedient enough to believe him. Come on. I don't need to be some savior. Rimuru's probably going to step up to do that anyway. He really does want to live alongside humankind, you know. Yuki snickered a little. He assumed all the talks were off now, but Granville wasn't done yet. You're still young, Yuki. Very young. Maribel could see into the future, but it appears that you cannot. That Demon Lord Rimuru, we cannot ever permit his continued existence. Lady Luminous had no interest in the human world, and that's exactly why she and they could coexist. But not Rimuru. He's going to corrupt humanity and spread chaos worldwide. I'm sure of it. There will be seas of blood. Oh, wow. What's your basis for saying that? Or what's your basis for saying that? My sixth sense. Huh? That's kind of irrational. My sixth sense as a former hero. It is pleading with me to slay the Demon Lord Rimuru. This made Yuki pause. He squinted at Granville. He may have called himself a former hero, but to Yuki, he looked like a shriveled old man. He had fancy clothes, sharp eyes, and the charisma and drive of a ruler and leader. But Yuki just couldn't see the kind of strength that would put Granville above Maribel. A hero? You're joking. Pfft. You can choose to believe me or not, but I want you to know whether you'll assist me in defeating the Demon Lord Rimuru. Assist you? Why would I ever agree to something so hazardous? I want to keep my current relationship with him. Enough nonsense, you fool. Maribel is dead. Now's not the time for us to be playing mind games with each other. We could leave everything to the Empire, but there's too many question marks in their government, and who knows how much we can trust the merchants you're connected to. Who's talking nonsense now? Yuki thought, chiding Granville in his mind. Unlike Granville, he didn't take a human's first approach to life. No matter what happens to humankind, it was all good to him, as long as he had full control of it in the end. But this talk of his secret treasure still concerned him. By the sound of it, Granville felt this would be enough to defeat Rimuru, and Yuki wanted to find out what it was. Granville, meanwhile, paid Yuki's thoughts no mind. I won't ask you to believe me. I simply want us to join forces, just once. Again, how does that benefit me? I will grant you Lady Luminous's hidden treasure, and that is the ultimate weapon, the one that that sealed Veldora away. This sudden bombshell was impossible for Yuki to ignore. The greatest hero of all time. I have not met her personally, but Lady Luminous is protecting her in a special arc. A demon lord protecting a hero? What kind of a joke is that? None of that now. I was just as confused at first, but in the great battles that unfold in this world every few hundred years, I have seen this hero in action. Truly, she is the supreme figure among her kind, capable of annihilating any form of evil. Stronger than you in your prime? I would not even compare. Those words sounded honest to Yuki, and he was pretty confident in his lie detection skills. Granville was telling the truth, and if he was, Yuki had an idea why this hero disappeared and left Shizue Izawa to herself. There must be some limit to this hero's career. Her lifespan? Well, regardless of the reason, if we can seize that arc or whatever Luminous is guarding, we can get the strongest pawn of all for ourselves. And then... So this ultimate weapon was in the custody of Luminous, likely under some sort of spell. If Yuki and his friends could figure out what kind of spell it was... That's quite fascinating, but I'm not enough of a mark to believe you at face value. I'm sure you're not. So here's a suggestion. I will attack and cause a scene at their main cathedral. It'll no doubt lead to confusion and chaos at Lady Luminous's castle. In the midst of that, you can fly in and steal the Ark. It was an attractive suggestion, so advantageous to Yuki, in fact, that he doubted it all the more. What do you gain from this? Isn't the Demon Lord Luminous your master? You're so bent on getting revenge from Maribel that you'll defy Luminous herself. Granville greeted this question with disgust. Of course I am. I was once on good terms with Lady Luminous, but she's already disposed of me. Our relationship hinged on the promise that she wouldn't oppose the human race. Now that she's joined hands with the Demon Lord Rimuru, Lady Luminous, or rather, the Demon Lord Luminous, is my enemy and nothing more. The malice was clear in his words. Yuki picked up on it, astonished by his sheer force. Wow, I thought he was a used-up old man. But he can still cut it on the front lines, can he? Maybe this isn't such a bad offer after all. He began to seriously consider it. On one hand, he'd insist upon Granville rising up first. That reduced the chances of a betrayal and gave him an opportunity to size up his powers before putting his own skin in the game. In the worst case, he could claim Granville tricked him with his lies into joining in. But he could judge how serious he was once the battle began. If he could gauge whether Granville intended to actually fight this out, there was no point joining in. Interesting. Very interesting. I still have a few doubts, but considering what I stand to gain from it, maybe giving it adventure isn't such a bad idea. I thought you would say that. It will be a temporary alliance for us, but there will be no better way to cap off our friendship. Can I count on you for this? Well, if you're willing to set the table that much more for me, I might as well trust you a little, huh? So, how are we going to make this a success? Yes. Well, the two of them began going over the finer details, and at the end of it, the mastermind in full control of the Western nations shook hands over it with the Magicborn scheming to conquer the world. Some ellipses. First, the Roso family would exercise their full resources in an attack on the cathedral. All the agents from the Celt Foreign Information Bureau would be there, as well as survivors from Blood Shadow and some other worlders summoned by the Rosos. Even Razul himself, guardian of the Western nation's northern boundary, would be present. I'm curious to see the full measure of Roso's strength, muttered Kagali, grinning evilly as she spoke for everyone in the room. So, Sir Yuki, do you have a read on where the Ark is hidden? Granville gave me all the details. We'll have to proceed carefully, though, just in case he's tricking me. And that's my job, eh? Said Laplace. I'm a little anxious about sneaking in by myself, so I'm taking Tyr and Footman along, okay? I'd like to say yes, but I have another job for Tyr. Huh? Well, just footman then. But what are you going to do with her? She's taking the most important job of all. But back to you for a moment. I want you guys to avoid combat as much as you can. Just focus on completing your mission. Always consider the possibility of a trap, advised Kagali. If you sense any danger, don't hesitate to retreat. I ain't a kid, you know. You don't have to remind me. Lapis exuded confidence. Footman silently nodding his approval. Good, said Kagali. Remember that Luminous was the master of Valentine, a demon lord as powerful as I was. I don't need to remind you how strong she is. She could easily defeat me in my prime. She could easily defeat me in my prime. Do I make myself clear, Lapis? Your first priority isn't to steal the Ark. It's to get as much info as you can without pushing your luck and come back home safely. All right. Fine. I ain't got no obligation to old man Granville. This ain't a moderate jester's job anyway, so I'll do my best for you guys, okay? Yeah, Yuki nodded. So for this job, I'm going to be supporting you. If that Ark's every bit the decisive weapon Granville claims it is. Support? What, you don't trust me? That hurts. It's not that. We need to firm up our defense. There's bound to be a trap or two, so we can't be too careful. Yuki trusted Lapis and his cohorts well enough. This time, though, not even he could predict what would happen. No matter what, he couldn't risk to have them go easy and risk messing up the whole thing. I'll be following you all in secret, he continued. It'll be up to you guys to carry out your end of it. Oh, so we're going to be a diversion for you, huh? That would be smarter. And if things fall apart, use the confusion to bail out safely. I'll take our prize in the midst of that. He grinned. The plan was perfect, and after several rounds of planning with Granville, Yuki realized he was dead serious about it. This was definitely going to be the best shot he'd get. The chances of another opportunity like this were slim to none. Regardless of how things shook out, Yuki thought he absolutely had to get his hands on that Ark. Okay, but is this Ark really everything you're saying it is? It is. He said it houses the hero who sealed away Veldora himself. Supposedly, this hero answers to Luminous, but my plan's to undo whatever spell's been put on her and make her mine instead. Huh? Seriously? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? Talk about priceless. Wouldn't you agree? The East is ready to accept this Ark at any time. We'll figure out how to gain control of the ultimate hero. Trust me. The whole room was surprised to hear Yuki's casual revelation. Now the Ark was more valuable than any of them could imagine. It was hard for anyone to hide their excitement. Even Misha, who was ordered to prepare for this Ark in advance, couldn't hide her blushing cheeks. How could she? They were attempting to gain control over the figure who defeated the true dragon, the most powerful presence in the world. World conquest, as envisioned by Yuki and Cerberus, was no pipe dream now. I can see why you're being so careful then, boss. Yes, if that's how things are, I'd gladly volunteer to join in the search. Ha ha! Or, not so fast, Kagali. It's too dangerous to accept Granville's story at face value. But I do think it's pretty plausible, so we can't mess this up. I'm sure Sir Yuki's presence puts all our minds at ease, but we can't afford to have any of you drag us down. Am I clear? Roger that. Understood. Learning the gravity of their mission enthused Lapis and Footman all the more. Yuki gave them both satisfied looks, then turned to Tyr. Now, Tyr, we're actually going to have the Demon Lord's Leon's support for this operation. It'd be rude if we didn't give him a warm welcome. With Leon on the move, Yuki's team now had a mission. If we chose to stay put, they would have likely done the same, maybe providing a little help on the sidelines, but now even Leon was on his way to Lubelious' Holy Lands. No doubt about it, the battlefield was going to be chaotic. If Leon's been buried here, Kagali said, we should make him think... If Leon's been lured here, Kagali said, we should make him think Cerberus is being used by the Rozos too. That way, he'll mistakenly believe that he can trust us. And then we can tell Rimuru that Leon's ruthlessly after those little kids, right? Right, and to make that more convincing, we need some of the kids we were planning to give Leon. Oh, and that's where I come in? You got it, Tyr. It'll mean showing your face in public, but knowing you, it's not going to blow your cover, is it? Not at all. With my acting skills, duping Rimuru is no problem. She was ready for this job, but Yuki still cruelly shook his head. Well, I have high hopes for that, but it's not going to be enough. The Demon Lord Rimuru is an incredibly cautious leader, and he's got a real sharp eye for trouble. He might realize we're up to something, so we're going to need to confer with Granville first. In hushed tones, he gave his orders to Tyr. The evil thoughts of the magic board began to swell past all limits. The fated day was soon. Very soon.
Okay, and that's it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Moon, do you have any idea where we are?
Yes, I actually already caught up.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Take over.
All right then.
Mm-hmm.
Deep inside a darkened room. Of course we will strike the demon Lord Rimuru and the demon Lord Leon and Lady Luminous as well. Granville's eyes were twin wells of bottomless hatred as he muttered words. For more than 1,000 years he had devoted himself to humankind. Perhaps his goals had shifted over time toward absolute rule and administration with an elite secret cadre. But there was no doubting his ultimate
Cater?
cadre?
I think it's cater. Let me look.
Elite secret cadre.
Cadre.
Yeah,
Compadre.
cadre.
Cadre.
Actually, I just realized how little is left in this chapter.
Really?
This is
Really?
literally the end of the chapter.
Oh.
Great.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can let him continue
excuse
after
me.
that.
Yeah.
But there was no doubting his ultimate goal of peace across human society. It presented him with one hardship after another, an endless string of betrayals, accompanied by the deaths of the companions who supported him. Still, with his indomitable spirit, Granville had overcome all his hardship, guarding the people of this world up to now. The Demon Lord Luminous assisted him, but his own efforts were just as extraordinary. Those long days when he discussed his ideals with his friends, when he discussed his ideals with his friends, the promises he forged with those who died before him, they all led up to the birth of Maribel, a great hope that brought his plans one step away from fruition. But now that hope was gone. His ultimate dream was to merge west with east, creating a united front to face the demon lords. Otherwise, keeping human society going seemed impossibly difficult. Now that the octagram had been formed, their power was simply too great. They were two down from their days as the 10 great demon lords, but their authority was more dominant than ever before. Guy Crimson, the Lord of Darkness, was letting his demons treat the northern lands as their personal playground. Earthquake Daggerel's interests in territorial expansion were drawing his attention toward human lands. He hadn't acted yet, out of concern over clashes with the Queen of Nightmares, but he couldn't restrain himself forever. And now, even the Eastern Empire was showing signs of a figure among them beyond humankind. Granville had also thought the sleeping ruler might attempt something, but he was so far unable to confirm his intentions. These were the giants he had protected humankind from so far. But now, look at these upstarts and their petty ambitions. Well, if they feel up to it, let them try. I'm too tired for it now. Not even Granville knew how much longer he had to live. With Maribel dead, no one was left to be a worthy successor to him. And without anyone to arbitrate over the proceedings to come, humankind would quickly meet its doom. It was simply a species far too ready to lay bare its greed and start infighting. Long ago, his wife, a woman who resembled Maribel in many ways, was killed by such people. Granville had kept living, bottling up his sadness out of concern for the children she left behind. But that was in the past now. All this world has done is take from me. It deserves to fall. His true feelings dribbled out from his lips. As far as he was concerned, this was the plain, honest truth. He had already given up his body to the madness, and that was exactly why he had such firm resolve now. The madness had reached his mind.
And that's
also
chapter 3.
cadre or cadre or
That
what was it?
Cadre.
Cadre. No, it's the thing on the line said cadre or K. Well, let me go look it up again. It's like K, like cater or something like that. Let me so.
Hater.
I've always heard it pronounced cadre.
Let me see. The dictionary.com with like the hold on. Hold on. I don't know why it's not loading. Cadre, excuse me. Like pad, like cadre.
Cadre.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Cadre. All right. Well, I'm from the South. We say words wrong.
South. That's okay.
And I'm from the North, and we can still say words wrong. It's just...
All right,
I haven't
that's
even
chapter
heard of
4.
some of
Good
that
night,
horse.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Honestly, probably should. We
Here,
probably
rock for you.
should actually end it there
Mhm.
instead of jumping straight into a fresh new chapter. Because
Mm.
I did not actually intend for us to jump straight into a new chapter today.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't
All
the
right.
plan.
Should we just fill time?
Hey, I could fill the time by talking about how good the D&D movie was.
No, don't.
Well, that would be spoilers potentially.
Oh, I never
That's
said I would
true.
spoil it.
I never
I
saw it.
never said I would spoil it.
Don't talk about it because I'm going to see it tomorrow.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, why don't we just play the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog for the rest of the night?
Yeah.
You're the one who fucked Sonic.
Whoa,
I could sit here and talk to you about how I literally spent most of the afternoon farming for pinnacles and still did not get the one pinnacle drop I needed.
Which one?
It's RNG for you, man.
I literally needed, all I needed was boots for my warlock, and I would have hit
Oh
pinnacle.
yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Funny enough.
Let's go to
funny enough,
Macy's.
here's the thing. All right, so I needed 3 things in order to go from rank 8 to rank 9, right? Well, I did the Master Nightfall and hit the 20,000 points that I needed. Got that done.
Good.
Got that done. The other thing that I need to do is run Garden of Salvation and reach Pinnacle. Literally have everything else at 1810 except for my effing boots. My boots are at 1809. Funny enough, when I just get my Prime Ingrams, they drop at boots.
But they don't give you.
But
the
they're at
18.
1809.
They don't give you that 10.
They don't give me 1810s. They drop at 1809.
They know you want it.
Motherfucker.
Desire sensor
Is
is
it-
very
so
real.
How
Yeah,
much of a
I did-
difference
bad
is
stuff
that?
in
I did
1812
I did
overture.
the Spire dungeon, and I got 4 pinnacles. I did Ron, and I did 4 the Root of Nightmares raid, 4 pinnacles. Nada. I was sitting here going, man, I've done all this content, and it's all been this afternoon. You know, it's really funny. I've done all this shit that technically I could have, I did the raid and it took us maybe an hour. Like 1 hour to do
That's
the
not
raid.
too bad.
Yeah, no, not bad at
Comparatively.
all. And I'm just sitting here going, damn,
Especially
I
how
could
long
have
some of
run
them are.
all this shit with you. I
Well,
was like, damn.
no, you couldn't have because I was not home for most of the day. So
Yeah.
we went
Actually,
to
He could have.
go check out some stuff, and then
Theoretically.
we went to see the movie. And
Funny
then,
enough, Fangs,
Yeah, but he watched the movie.
Fangs jumped in with me for the
He
actual
chose
raid.
the movie over helping Richie over there get his boots.
well, for one, I didn't even know he was doing
Yeah,
all
I
that
was gonna
stuff, so-
say, in his defense, he didn't even know, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
only
did.
just now
I
learning about
also
this.
did. I
No
also
psychic
ran,
link.
for the first time ever. I fucking ran the oh god, what's it called? Trials of Osiris. I ran Trials.
Right.
How is
I
it?
still got my 7 Trials runs and got Pinnacles, and I was like, oh god, got my 50 points and 7 Trials wins. Still did not get what I needed.
Of course not.
Yeah. I still got to do 3 legendary
That's how it goes.
battlegrounds. So there's that.
Well, I'm almost done with my solo Witch Queen playthrough with the tank, or the Titan, which is apparently fucking easy mode.
With the
Because, like,
Titan is
sure, I
easy
am
mode?
dying a lot, kind of. But sure, I am dying a lot, but it's like, it's only because I jumped wrong or I just wasn't fast enough by like a smidge. Nothing ever to a point where I'm just like, this is bullshit. Why am I dying to that? It's just,
So
Like, you know what's wrong. You know what you did. You know you did something wrong.
So I'm
And
actually
it's like, okay, just don't do that again.
I'm thinking
Mikola.
I'm thinking we actually do end here, early for once. Yeah, like give people actual
Gotcha.
time for once.
I do need to get food, so.
Because
I do too, actually.
I got food.
Because
I have to
damn,
go make it.
yeah. Holy cow, guys. Was not expecting us to just fly through this.
You didn't check your book.
Ooh.
Also, sorry for
Bro,
the casual Martian post.
I was not expecting us to run through it that quickly. I was like, holy crap.
Didn't
you
we
know how
go
fast he
extra
reads.
long last time?
hmm
Yeah, we went extra long last time. That's part of it.
That
but-
I
probably,
read
that might, yeah.
books.
yeah.
Yes. I can
So
go
this week
get
kinda makes up
Gazgul
for that.
Thraka, leader of our prophet of the Wog, and bring that up here and read excerpts from that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm down for
Moon
that.
literally
Sudden
read 2
Warhammer
pages.
stream. Huh?
Moon literally read 2 pages, and that was that. So
Right.
there we go.
I'm okay with that.
So Sonic and I didn't read. To be fair, I was like, oh yeah, we'll let him.
No, we're all gonna read tonight, yeah.
I had no idea
thought
how
we were
much
all
was left
gonna
of the
read
chapter.
tonight.
So.
I didn't either. I was just like,
You
all
should have
right,
put your
cool.
weighted
Sorry.
training glasses on or something.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't just skip over me, because it could have just been like, Moon, you came in late, so guess what? You're being skipped, and I'd be like, oh,
I just figured we'll go with the regular rotation.
fair.
Yeah, so yeah. I just didn't know, so if I knew how much was left at the end of the chapter, I would have slowed down a little bit.
It's like, hang on, let
Would've
me take
added
off my
some-
glasses so we can
It's
milk
all
the
good.
stream a
It's
little
all
more.
good.
Let's see.
The stuff goes on, you know.
hmm
Mm.
I can read Moby Dick until we end the stream.
No.
Call me Ishmael.
I just really-
Oh, we could take
Yeah.
turns reading.
I have a lot of books here.
Shit. Ooh, you know what? We could play like Cards Against or something just on stream. Just 'cause.
No.
Like do a
This is
Discord
what I'm
activity
reading
or
right
something?
now. So
Yeah.
I'm reading. I'm just going through my read pile, so I found a book.
Guys,
on
we
Wicked.
literally did
Ooh.
almost 6 hours
That
of
I gotta read that.
Minecraft
Wicked
and Friday,
is such a
guys.
weird story.
Oh,
For
yeah.
anyone who
Is it?
hasn't read it,
Which, by the way, guys,
how
if
far
you did not
how
know,
far are you?
guys, if you did not know, we literally
started.
we brought
Just wait.
guys. If you did not know, Fan Friday is back on Twitch. Like we
Mhm.
literally moved Fan Friday back to Twitch, and this Fan Friday we did Minecraft.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we brought Minecraft back to Fan Fridays. Doger was hosting it. I joined in. We had a lot of fun.
I was at
It
work.
was a 6-hour stream, bro. It was a 6-hour stream. You weren't at
That's
work when
awesome.
we started, bro. Because we started at 9 p.m. your time.
I
Oh,
was
jeez.
at work.
Ooh.
I
You were at
start
work
work at 8.
You start work at 8. Oh, okay. I didn't
8
know.
p.m. to 6 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
I've told you guys this.
I thought you started
That's
at like
why-
midnight.
I don't
or some
remember
shit.
that.
No, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Ooh.
8 a.m. if it's bad.
I don't know if that would be legal or not to read that book on
It
stream.
is. Wait, which book?
Oh, nothing. I was just mumbling because
Moby
they're like,
Dick?
"Yes, more 40K," and I was like, "I don't know if it'd be
Oh.
legal for me to read the 40K books on stream. I don't know
No.
if Games Workshop would be
No,
cool
I
with
don't
that."
think. I don't think it would be.
Yeah,
and
I
it
mean,
doesn't-
granted, I'm not like putting it on stream and having people read with me, but
Please come
I
and
guess-
dig a hole, diggy hole.
it'd be really fun to do like
I
little
am
little
a
extra
dwarf
credit.
and I'm digging.
Man, I'm digging a hole.
All right,
Diggy hole. Have you any of you guys played Deep Rock Galactic? I think you guys would like that game. That'd be a
I
fun
have
game
not,
for you
but
guys.
I
I
to
have
get
friends
up.
who played it, but I've not.
It's
played
really
myself.
good.
Brothers of the
Mhm.
mine rejoice, sing, sing,
Sing.
with me.
All right, there we go. Good stuff,
Yeah.
Guys-
remember the
Eat a
lyrics to that
snack
one.
and raise your voice.
guys. That's gonna be it for us. I've got a crazy
Mhm.
week to attend to. It's gonna be silly season.
Gonna love that movie. It's fucking great.
The movie is not the thing.
I do want to
that
see it.
The movie is not the thing that I'm worried about. I'll talk to
That's
y'all off
silly.
stream about it. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I've got.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Though.
Yeah, I was not expecting this chapter to be so short today, but you know what? Sometimes a short stream is a good stream. That's okay.
You know what? We should have turned on the silly voices for this.
No.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
you know,
Come on,
I
Leon.
got an idea. We gotta reread what we just read, but in silly voices.
No.
Oh God. I can read you a little bit of.
No.
No.
Back to the mine now. All right.
No.
Back to the mines with you.
Back to the mines with ye. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Have a good one.
Yep.
We'll see
Bye, guys.
you again on Sunday.
Next week.
At least
Oh,
for Anime Church.
Well,
and then we'll see you again.
That's when I'm gonna be back.
But Moon and I,
What?
or Moon, no. Shemini.
Well, you're probably gonna do like Fan Friday again. Maybe.
I might.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if
We'll
I'll
have to
be
see.
on for Friday. I don't know what they're doing for
What's
Friday.
Oh yeah, I don't know
Oh,
either.
shit. True.
Yeah.
True. True.
Yeah, I don't
If
know.
it's
what
the
they're
Zelda
doing
hide
for
and
Fred
seek,
Friday.
maybe, but
I'm not part of that.
yeah. Well, me, but I didn't say you.
Yeah.
Eventually, I gotta figure out a
We'll
schedule so I
see
can
you.
start
We'll
doing-
see you when we know what stream we're doing next. Yay!
Yeah.
Yes. Until then, take care. Y'all have a good
Yes.
one. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.